She screamed for help, cornered by 3 men in the middle of a parking lot. Her designer coat was ripped, her heels snapped, her phone shattered. Everyone walked by. Everyone except one man. He had grease on his jeans, his shirt clung to sweat, and he was holding a paper bag of groceries with one hand and a little girl's hand with the other. But when he saw her crying, everything changed. And she had no idea he'd once led combat missions overseas, or that she was the daughter of the CEO he used to work security for, until her betrayal nearly ended his life. Before we dive in, drop a comment with where you're watching from, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more videos like this. Let's begin. Zane Holloway didn't look like a hero. To the cashier at Carter's Mini Mart, he was the tired single dad who always paid with crumpled bills and brought his daughter in at closing time. To the people of Brenton, California, he was the mechanic who fixed flat tires for free and refused tips. But to the 3 college boys shoving a girl against a black SUV in the corner of the parking lot, he was a problem. "Stop it! Let go of me!" the girl screamed. A slap rang out. Someone laughed. Zane's boot stopped in the middle of the lot. His daughter, Lily, looked up from the strawberry milkshake she was sipping. "Daddy," she said softly. Zane gently handed her the bag of groceries and bent down, his voice calm. "Go inside the store. Tell Mrs. Carter to keep you safe." She nodded. No questions. She knew what her dad's face meant. He walked toward the sound of cruelty like it owed him rent. "Hey!" His voice cracked like a whip. The tallest guy turned first, muscles under his college football jacket tensing up like he was about to flex. "Who the hell are you?" he sneered. Zane didn't stop. "Let her go. You've got 5 seconds. The shortest guy laughed. "What, you gonna fight us, old man?" Zane stopped 10 feet away. 3 seconds now." The girl, torn blouse, mascara down her cheeks, blood on her lip, looked up at him with desperate eyes. Zane made eye contact. Not with the boys, with her. "You're safe now." The lead jock shoved the girl aside and lunged at Zane with all the subtlety of a bar fight. It was a mistake. Zane sidestepped, grabbed the kid's wrist, twisted, and had him on the ground in one smooth, terrifying motion. The scream that followed made the other 2 freeze. Zane didn't need to throw another punch. His calm was enough to scare the rest off. When they finally ran, dragging their moaning friend behind them, Zane walked to the girl. "You okay?" he asked softly. She nodded, stunned. I think so." "You hurt?" Or just scared? "I'll call someone for you." "No," she said, suddenly panicked. "No cops." "Please." Zane studied her for a moment. She was rich, designer coat, diamond earrings. Everything about her said, privileged. But her eyes said something else. "I'm not from here," she whispered. "I can't be seen here." Zane didn't press. He just took off his jacket and gently wrapped it around her shoulders. "You hungry?" he asked. "I've got leftover lasagna and a 6-year-old who talks too much." The girl looked like she might cry again. "What's your name?" he asked. "Harper," she said quietly. "Harper DeWitt." Zane froze. Because he knew that name. That name used to be stitched on the office door of the man who cost him everything. He didn't say a word. He just opened his truck door and helped her in. The engine growled as Zane pulled out of the parking lot. Harper sat silently in the passenger seat, arms wrapped in the oversized jacket that still smelled faintly of gasoline and pine. Her designer dress, now ripped at the sleeve, looked out of place in his beat-up Ford. "You're limping," Zane said, keeping his eyes on the road. "Did they hurt your ankle?" Harper looked down at her feet. Her heel was snapped clean off, No, she lied. Just twisted it. Zane didn't press. He adjusted the heat. 10 minutes later, they pulled into a modest neighborhood. Faded porch lights, kids' bikes in yards, one American flag waving in the night breeze. He killed the engine and turned to her. "You don't have to come in if you're not comfortable. I'll drive you anywhere you want." Harper looked at him. Really looked at him. "You stepped in. Risked yourself. You didn't even know who I was." Zane gave a one-shoulder shrug. "Didn't matter who you were. You needed help." That made her chest tighten. She hadn't heard a sentence that sincere in years. Inside, the house was small, clean, and filled with warmth. A few crayon drawings hung on the fridge. A worn couch faced a TV playing cartoons on low volume. A pair of pink rain boots sat by the door. And then, "Daddy!" Lily ran from the hallway, arms wide. But when she saw Harper, she paused, eyes wide. Zane knelt. "Hey, this is Miss Harper. She's going to stay a little while. She's had a rough night, okay?" Lily nodded seriously and walked up to Harper. "You want my blanket?" she asked. "It's soft." Harper knelt, tears nearly spilling. "That would be amazing." Dinner was quiet. Harper picked at her food while Zane and Lily talked about school, bullies, and how her dad made the best spaghetti lasagna in the galaxy. Harper's chest ached. Not from fear, from the realization that this tiny kitchen, this warmth, it felt more like home than her mansion ever had. Later that night, Harper sat on the couch with a cup of tea. Zane stepped out of Lily's room, rubbing his eyes. "You didn't have to bring me here," Harper said. "I didn't have to stop those kids either," Zane replied. She looked down. "Why did you?" Zane sat on the armrest. "Because I've seen what happens when people don't. Overseas, stateside, doesn't matter. When you walk past someone crying, you lose a piece of yourself." She swallowed. "You were in the military?" "Marine Corps, 12 years. Recon and PSD." Her head shot up. "PSD?" "Personal security detail." Her heart skipped. Her father had gone through dozens of PSD contracts over the years. Zane's eyes didn't flinch, but inside he was screaming. He knew exactly who she was now. Harper DeWitt, daughter of Mitchell DeWitt, the CEO who fired Zane and publicly blacklisted him after a scandal Zane had nothing to do with. A scandal that nearly destroyed his chance of adopting Lily. "You okay?" he asked her. Harper nodded. "I was just thinking. No one's ever protected me like that. Not without an agenda." Zane stood slowly. "Then you've been around the wrong people." Harper's voice cracked. "Yeah, I guess I have." He left her with a pillow and blanket. As he turned out the lights, he didn't say goodnight. He just said, "You're safe here. No one's going to touch you." And she believed him. For the first time in years, she believed someone. But what neither of them knew was that someone had followed her that night. And by morning, the news would break across every screen in America. CEO's daughter caught in shocking scandal, seen escaping into a stranger's truck after alleged assault. The sun had barely risen when the banging started. Zane reached for the bat under his bed. A soldier's instincts never fully left. He was already moving toward the door when he saw Harper frozen in the hallway, still in his jacket, holding Lily close. He gently pushed them behind him, then opened the door. Not cops, worse. Pressed dozens of them, cameras, booms, reporters shoving microphones in his face. "Sir, do you know who you sheltered last night? Is it true she was attacked in the parking lot? Did you know that's Harper DeWitt, heir to DeWitt Tech?" Zane didn't flinch. He stepped out, closed the door behind him, and spoke with ice in his voice. She's a young woman who was assaulted. That's all that matters. Now leave. A few camera flashes later, he shut the door, pulled the curtains shut, and turned slowly. Harper stood in the living room, eyes wide. You knew? She whispered. Zane's jaw was tight. I recognized you last night, but I didn't care. Harper stepped forward. But you do care now? I care that those people were outside my house. I care that they scared my daughter. And I care that you didn't tell me what kind of chaos was following you. Harper's voice broke. I didn't think it would happen like this. I didn't know my father would. Zane's voice cut in, low and sharp. Your father ruined my life. She froze. What? 3 years ago, I was working security for DeWitt Tech. I stopped a breach. I reported someone in your dad's inner circle. Harper's lips parted in shock. And the next morning, I was fired for breach of conduct. No reference, no pension, just gone. My clearance was shredded. My adoption of Lily nearly got denied because of that black mark. Tears welled in Harper's eyes. I didn't know. You wouldn't have, Zane said, because people like your father make sure no one knows. The room went silent. Then Lily peeked out from behind the hallway door, her voice trembling. Daddy, are we in trouble? Zane knelt immediately, scooped her up. No, baby, we're okay. Harper stared at them, her throat aching. That night, she'd been the victim. But this morning, she realized Zane had been the victim for years, and her last name caused it. Later, Harper sat at the edge of the couch, guilt and shame curling inside her. I want to fix it, she said quietly. Let me fix what he did to you. Zane shook his head. You don't owe me anything. She looked up, fire in her voice. That's not true, and I'm done living with people who run from consequences. I'm not my father. Zane looked at her, really looked, and for the first time, saw it. She wasn't like her last name. She was like Lily, gentle, strong, trying to be good in a world that was anything but. Then the front door shook again. But this time, it wasn't the press. It was Mitchell DeWitt's security detail. They didn't knock. They didn't ask. The front door burst open like a war zone raid. 2 men in black suits and earpieces stepped in first, clearing the area like they were sweeping a building in Kabul. Zane's hand went to Lily, pulling her close with practiced precision. Then came Mitchell DeWitt. Tall, charismatic, gray hair slicked back, Rolex catching the morning light, and a look in his eyes that could silence boardrooms and presidents alike. Harper, he barked, get your things. You're coming home. Harper stood. You don't get to tell me what to do anymore. Mitchell's lip curled. Do you have any idea what you've done? Paparazzi, leaks, you're everywhere. And you're hiding in a stranger's house like some reality show mess. Zane stepped forward. Watch your tone. Mitchell barely glanced at him. And you. I remember you. I'm surprised. You've stabbed so many people in the back, I figured I was just another number. Mitchell sneered. I should have destroyed your record when I had the chance. Zane's eyes darkened. You tried. But the Marines don't erase men like me. Harper's voice broke through. I'm not leaving with you. Mitchell turned, shocked. What? I'm staying here, at least until I decide what I want to do. I'm not some pawn in your reputation war. This man, Mitchell pointed at Zane like he was filth, is a nobody. You're throwing away everything for someone who repairs engines and lives off gas station coffee? Zane stood still, but Lily stepped forward. And with a simplicity only a child could master, She said, "He fixed my scooter, and he made me pancakes when I was sad. He's not a nobody." The room fell silent. Even Mitchell was stunned for a second. Then Harper walked up to her father and whispered, "If you lay a hand on Zane's life again, I will go public with everything you've buried." Mitchell blinked. Harper leaned closer. "Including what you did to Mom before she died." He froze. Harper's eyes were steel now. "You leave, or I walk into every media outlet tomorrow and talk." Mitchell hesitated, then nodded at his men. They left without another word. Zane looked at her. "That wasn't nothing." Harper exhaled like she'd been underwater for years. "I think," she said quietly, "I just stopped being afraid of my own last name." That night, Lily drew a picture of the three of them on the fridge. Harper laughed when she saw it. "Why'd you draw me with a sword?" she asked Lily. "Because you're brave now," Lily said. "Like Daddy." Zane didn't speak. He just looked at Harper for a long, quiet second. And for the first time in years, he smiled. 3 days later, the press conference was announced. The media expected a simple denial. They didn't expect her to show up. Harper DeWitt stepped onto the stage in front of a dozen cameras, reporters murmuring in confusion. She wore no makeup, no jewelry, just a plain navy blouse and her chin held high. "I wasn't kidnapped," she began, voice calm but unwavering. "I wasn't drunk. I wasn't running from a scandal." Pause. "I was running from the people who created one." Reporters fell silent. "I was attacked outside my university. No one helped me except one man. A single father, a veteran, who didn't ask for my name or status. He just did the right thing." She looked straight into the lens. "His name is Zane Holloway. And 3 years ago, my father blacklisted him for doing that same thing, protecting someone." Murmurs turned into chaos. Flashes exploded. Phones buzzed. DeWitt's stock dipped 5% in 7 minutes. But Harper didn't flinch. "I will not be part of a company or legacy built on fear, silence, or revenge." She placed a folded document on the podium. "My resignation, effective immediately, and my full cooperation in any investigation involving misconduct during my father's tenure." The crowd erupted, but Harper didn't stay to hear it. She turned, walked off stage, and into Zane's old truck parked just outside the gate. Inside, Lily handed her a juice box. "You were on TV?" she said. "You looked like a superhero." Harper smiled. "Thanks, partner." Zane kept his eyes on the road. "You didn't have to burn it all down." Harper looked at him, her voice quiet. "I wasn't burning it down. I was clearing the ground to build something better." The next weeks were chaos for the DeWitts, but not for Zane, because something changed in town. People stopped ignoring him. A former colonel showed up at his garage and shook his hand. A local investor offered to help expand his shop. And Harper? She didn't disappear. She stayed. She helped rebuild the office, cleaned grease from the garage floors, brought Lily art supplies, and sat beside Zane on the porch each night like she belonged there. One evening, Zane turned to her. "Why'd you really stay?" Harper looked up at the stars. "Because you saw me, not my last name, not the mess, me." He nodded once, and then, for the first time since the war, since betrayal, since heartbreak, Zane took off the chain around his neck, the one with his Marine tags. He placed them in her palm. "I only give these to the people I trust to watch my six." Harper stared at him, heart pounding. "I'll guard your six," she whispered. "And your daughters." Zane leaned in, not for a kiss, but just to rest his forehead against hers. It was quiet, but it was everything. Epilogue. Mitchell DeWitt was removed as CEO. The DeWitt Foundation was investigated, then dissolved. Zane's small shop became Holloway Garage and Security Solutions, run by a veteran and backed by a woman who once feared her own name. And every night, a single light glowed from their front porch, where a little girl, a single dad, and a once-lost daughter of a CEO laughed like they'd always belonged together. Because they did.